everybody. I have a very special video for you today. As you can see, this is the AT-AT and the entire set of accoutrements that come with it. You may notice this is not my New York apartment. I, in fact, had to cross state lines to bring you this video. This AT-AT has been sitting in our family storage unit for quite some time. I never brought it with me when I moved out of my house. And I had to go back to visit it because everybody loved the Veers video and I was going to see my parents anyway. And I thought, wow, why not bring this one to you guys? So you can see on the AT-AT piece here, this is Vader for scale. And you can actually see the little segments of the base where you can place the figures because in the game they are able to move on it. If the AT-AT moves while they're standing on it, they are instantly defeated without a save of 6. So that's a risky move, but you can stand on it. Here's the counter sheet. I never opened it because I wanted to save it, just because it's cool and I didn't want to lose the counters. I lost a lot of the old counters that I used to got from the starter sets. So I left this one intact and I just made homemade counters because I think these are so cool and I didn't want to lose them. Here is the card. As you can see, it is not a normal card. It has the spaces over here for the staggered activation that I'll talk about, that you're supposed to put the counters on over to these spaces here. And then we've got the game board that came with it. As you can see, for the scenario with the special rules, we have a shield generator, turret, a tower, and a trench. Of course, the turrets and towers later kind of made it into the game in their own right, but for the map with the special rules scenario that you're designed to play the AT-AT with, basically kind of the only way to play the AT-AT. I guess not the only, but there's not many maps that can fit this thing. The map does have these special rules for these towers, turrets, and the shield generator to kind of make it interesting to play. So I'll get into the rules around this thing, but I just really wanted to do a different kind of video to show this thing off because it is so cool. I could not believe it when I got this. I still kind of can't believe it when looking at it today. It just towers over Vader here. I wish I'd brought an AT-ST or a Viper or something to show for scale, but transporting that out here would have been a minor hassle. So I didn't. But the AT-AT is awesome. The map is quite cool and unique, and this huge card is just a real collector's piece, as is the Walker counter sheet over here. I brought those with me, and I keep them along with the map because the flip side of the map is kind of fun to play. But the Walker itself has been sitting in storage. I had to dust the big guy off when I got him out today. But he's still in one piece and he looks good. So yeah, let's talk about how this thing plays. So before I talk about the rules, I just want to point out the John Williams poster in the background. I didn't put that up. The family is we're a bunch of movie nerds and Star Wars nerds, so that was already here when I showed up. This guy is got a lot of rules. They're kind of dense. Bear with me. I have this card at home and I've read it a few times, but I haven't played this thing in a game in a very long time. So I'll try to take you through it and make all the details clear. So he's Colossal, which means that more than being huge, he can have other characters on his base, as we pointed out with Vader. And if they are on his base, he's considered adjacent to them and they're adjacent to him. You can't put huge characters on the base. Physically, it might fit, but you're not supposed to, according to the rules. If it's shooting at something, then there's no character cover from large characters, smaller characters, or low objects. Don't get cover because it's so big and it's shooting down. If you're hiding behind a huge character, you do get cover. So that's important to remember. It does not have to pay any movement costs to move through difficult terrain, low objects, or trenches. Just steps right over them. Obviously, it still has to obey walls, although I guess that's not entirely obvious if you think about it. It has no cover, ever. It can't get cover. Even if you're shooting like through a large or a huge, if you're shooting through an ATST at it, still doesn't get cover. You can hit it. And you can't bodyguard it, and you can't draw fire it. It specifies those two things. I'm curious if perhaps other abilities, like, I don't know, the Jar Jar ability would work. Maybe. Damage reduction 20, the only character in the game to have DR 20. Even though there's other characters with penetration 20, only this guy has damage reduction 20. But that's obviously like quite a big deal, because he's got 300 hit points plus damage reduction 20. So you're gonna have to do a lot of damage. You're gonna have to seriously fire to take this thing down. It's got 13 defense, which is pretty low, and again, it like doesn't make sense to me. But I guess with like with a lot of the huges, they just made them have low defense and damage reduction, like high damage reduction instead of high defense. I don't know what the reasoning is there. I mean, it kind of brings into question, what does defense even mean in this game ultimately? Like, this person's defense is 13, but like Luke's defense is like, in the 20s. We could debate that into infinity, so I won't. It's got mounted weapon, duh. And it's got accurate shot, because I guess it is so big that it never has to worry about people hiding from it. So accurate shot. And then interestingly, something called weak spots 10, which means that it's only got DR 10 if you're adjacent. So if you're adjacent, no matter what weapon you're attacking it with, it only has damage reduction 10. So get next to it and hit it, I guess. Now let's talk about the staggered activation part, because that is kind of the whole way that this works. Because the AT-AT Imperial Walker is 200 points. It is the most expensive piece in the game. You can't even play it in a 150-point match. I don't know why you would play it in anything other than one of the scenarios that's designed for it, but I guess you could flip the map and do some big battles. People do that at tournaments, Gen Con, stuff like that. But it's 200 points, and it's meant to function basically as an entire squad by itself. So in order to just not make that your opponent goes a bunch and then you go once, it has staggered activation 6. It's an ability unique to this walker. And it's represented by these token spaces on the side, so you can keep track of the activations. So here's what you can do with your staggered activation. You get 4 move tokens, and then you get 2 attack tokens. And 1 attack token is medium blasters, and 1 attack token is heavy laser cannon. And the move tokens can be spent to move up to 2 squares, walking forwards, because it's got relentless, which means it can only move forwards, can't walk backwards. I don't know why. Maybe so it can't step on people. It's a little strange to me. But yeah, you can spend 1 move token to walk 2, and that costs 1 activation. You can then, I guess, spend a second move token to walk another 2. So you could walk up to 4 spaces a turn. Generally, it seems inadvisable to be walking with this thing most of the time because of the limited field of fire ability, which means it can only shoot in front of its base. If you're next to it, you can't shoot it. It can't shoot you, sorry. If you're next to it, you can shoot it, but it can't shoot you. So I would want to put myself as far back to the edge of the map as possible. So walking forward, unless you're trying to stop someone, doesn't seem super advisable. Until you encounter the other part, which I am going to have to open the rules book here to reference, because boy, is it complicated. This is the open and close and kneeling hatch thing, where basically you can carry and transport people in it like another transport. It can carry 16 small or medium, 4 large, or 2 huge characters, or any equivalent combination of them inside of it. To move, you can kneel and then open your hatch as a move action. And then you can spend another move action to stand, apparently. You need to use a move action to close. Sorry, let's be clear about this. You have to kneel, open the hatch as two separate actions, close the hatch, and then stand. So that is basically 2 whole turns to kneel down, let the people out, close the hatch, stand up again. It's a lot. I don't know necessarily if that's going to be super useful, because you only walk 2, and it's like the size of a third of the map. So I guess you could walk some people across the map. It's not, I don't know, man. This thing is like very scenario based. And it's a strange ability to me. Let's talk about the attacks. One attack is Medium Blasters 1. Very simple. Make 2 attacks at attack plus 10, damage 20. Pretty good. The other one's more fun. Heavy Laser Cannon. Make 2 attacks, attack plus 6 on a hit, 60 damage to target, and 20 damage to each character adjacent to the target. Save 11. On a miss, 20 damage to the target and each character adjacent to the target. Save 11. Seem familiar? That's because it's pretty similar to the Veer's fire control ability from the hologram Veers. Because, like, you know, obviously it's supposed to be the same thing. Because hologram Veers is meant to represent one of these giant things standing off the edge of the map, blasting in. This is a little better because you get to make 2 attacks, and you do 20 damage if you miss, even. But then they get saves of 11, so there's a lot of dice rolls involved. And you're only hitting it plus 6, but you're gonna do some damage. Especially if you use Veer's Crack Gunner to just park next to him and combine fire. Because you can combine fire with it. It's not subject to commander effects. That's part of the rules of staggered activation. But you can combine fire with it if you want to. Is it good? Probably not. No. I don't remember it being very good in the games that I played with it. I think most of the time whoever was using the AT-AT lost. The scenario is designed basically around attacking the shield generator. The shield generator has 600 hit points and defense 8, and you can shoot it. There's the little turrets and the towers that can be manned. The turrets, I think, activate on their own. And they're kind of a little similar to their later iterations as individual pieces, with the turret being absolute garbage and the tower being pretty good. But yeah, this thing is meant to be mostly played in a scenario where you're charging the shield generator and shooting at it. Is it great? I don't know, because ultimately, like, you get someone with a lightsaber up next to this thing at the base on the side of it. It can't shoot it, and so many lightsaber duelists can put out so much damage so fast, ignoring the DR10. If you can't block it and you can't parry them, it's going to be dead super fast. Obviously, it's meant to be played against the rebels, who don't, or at least at the time of this release, didn't have like monster lightsaber duelists. So like, it's meant to be shot, you know, really, and maybe like have Luke or Obi-Wan run up and lightsaber at it. But now there's other rebels that you can get in that can really mess it up, and some of the Lukes are quite good at this point. So, you know, I think it's a fun piece. I am going to try to find a way to return it to my home so I can play it again, because I really want to, and I would love to do another video talking about how that went. But right now it's semi speculation and memory about whether it's genuinely a useful piece or not. But I just don't think, so. You know, it does have the 4 attacks, which are nice, but like, if you've got a team of rebel evaders, they're just gonna keep dodging it, and uh, I mean, in this scenario, you're just gonna want to focus your fire on the shield generator, like, because the shield generator's got a lot of health. It's got 600 health. I know you're doing a lot of damage with heavy laser cannon of 60, so that's pretty good, but still, I think it's probably not very fun to play with this thing on its own. I think you need to do like a 300-point game and bring some Imperial ground reinforcements to move with it, which is what the transport suggestion is. The suggested AT-AT scenarios, there's 2 of them in the game. One suggests a 200-point battle, which is just the Walker versus like Luke on Tauntaun, Wedge, 7 Hoth Troopers, 3 Elite Hoth Troopers, R2, 3PO, and a Rebel officer. That's probably a fair fight because that Rebel team is awful. So yeah, against the truly horrendous Rebel squad that's suggested, like that one, sure. The other one that's suggested is an AT-AT with AT-ST, some troopers, and then, you know, against Luke on Tauntaun, Wedge, and a bunch more Rebel troopers. Like, yeah, okay. I mean, if you set up the squares to just be Hoth things, and you've just got a bunch of, like, not very good troopers blasting at it, and it's DR-20, sure. But then, like, what is even the fun in that? Because the troopers are activating and doing nothing. You're just relying on the turrets and Luke to kill it. So, like, what, are they going to walk up to it and just swarm the base and start shooting it? I like that. It's just, I don't know. It's very cool. Wizards put some effort into this. They put a lot of effort into this. I think the gameplay for it is not awesome. I don't really think it's super functional. It is so cool, but does it play well? I feel like no. But hopefully I'll make another video someday, hopefully soon, to follow up on that question. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed my talk about the AT-AT. I would love to hear in the comments if any of you have one, your memories of it, whether you liked playing with it, or whether you thought that Wizards didn't think the rules through well enough. And if you've used it in something besides the shield generator attack scenario, that would be really interesting, and how you made that work. So as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and may the Force be with you.